Okay. Hi everybody, how's it going? I'm DW and I have a very special guest with me, Alex Hunnicutt. Alex Hunnicutt and I play together. I play drum set and percussion, and Alex Hunnicutt plays guitar and vocals. He is an incredibly skilled musician and he is very creative. Alex, what guitar players have influenced you throughout your musical career?
A whole lot. Gary Clark Jr. mostly, which we're covering. We cover
Yes,
today
we
in
are.
lesson.
Yes, watch the Weekly Grooves. It's Gary Clark Jr.
Yeah. When I listened to his album, which has this song on it, I think it's called Black and Blue by Gary Clark Jr. It kind of changed my approach to the guitar when I actually heard that album. Some other people I like, John Mayer.
Yeah.
I like Curtis Mayfield style, D'Angelo style of playing guitar. I like a lot of rhythm guitar players.
Absolutely.
Guitar, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Dude, you can have a great rhythm guitar, but especially a great lead guitar, but especially in this genre of music that you play, Alex just has an incredible rhythm guitar technique and a rhythm guitar feel that just makes everything feel so good. Speaking of feel so good, on this Weekly Grooves, we are talking about rig orchestration, and we're talking about doing something unconventional with it, and talking about how to use a groove to bring up an image or to fit the mood of a song. And you'll notice in this Weekly Grooves, for Gary Clark Jr., I use a cowbell to simulate driving a spike through a train. And how do you do that, Alex? How do you not only play your songs but also do musical techniques to conjure up images and vibes and such?
I don't have as many as you because you have so many instruments back there you can jump back and forth between. But pedals is a lot of it. You can
Awesome.
thicken it up with a pedal, or I like to use an auto wah. A lot of times that gives it kind of that funky
auto wall, man.
Marvin Gaye kind of vibe.
It's killing, man. It's killing.
But yeah, that and it's just kind of in the moment. I feel like it's
And
what you're doing with that vibe in that moment.
You also pick vocal phrases to inflect, and I love how you do that. He does it in a way that it's very subtle, but he'll pick these phrases to inflect or slightly change the phrasing of, and it really helps give a good, solid phrasing, and it helps give an atmosphere, which is very important. Speaking of which, so yeah, I actually, if you'd like to, Alex, you can. Well, how about you talk about your electric guitar? This is probably your favorite electric guitar.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely.
This guitar. Oh, no problem. This guitar was a gift from my dad. It's a Fender Special Run Telecaster.
Man.
Very sentimental to me because it's from my dad. I'll always cherish this guitar. There's a few things that I'd like to update on it now that the frets are getting worn. I want to get a new neck and things, but overall it's been a great guitar. It just has that great classic telly tone want. It has stock telly pickups in it.
Yes, the stock ones are so good.
I like the reverse bridge plate too. Usually
that is really unique.
So the volume's a little bit closer to be able to do swells and stuff like that.
Oh, that is so great. Yeah. And speaking of gear, so for cymbals, I always like to start with cymbals because they are the most colorful. I'm using 13-inch Bliss hi-hats. I use these with Alex because we play a lot of different kinds of R&B and funk music, and some of it needs a really swashy hi-hat sound, really dark and moody, and some of it needs a tighter, more modern R&B, more the D'Angelo, Anderson .Paak kind of vibe. So these give me a sloshy, dirty sound when hit with the shaft of the stick. But when hit with the tip, they also give me a tighter sound, which is really, really good for 16th note bass patterns and such, as we play in many of our songs. Many of the original songs Alex writes use a lot of that. This is a 20-inch Trash Crush Bison's Vintage Spin 20-inch Trash Crush, and a 12-inch Xerion Splash. I love this auxiliary splash because the splash itself is already very trashy. And so you just put it on top of the trash crash. And it's a great stack to use when you want a stack that has a lot of attitude and has a good vibe, but also is not too, like this stack, aggressive. And this has a very buttery responsiveness to it. And then I usually use a 22-inch Heartbeat custom dry ride. Today, for degrees we're demonstrating, I'm just using the Contact Dream series, right? Some of my love Dream cymbals. But this, I will also use. This is a Dream 20-inch Bliss crash. Great crash, really warm. Good bell, and also a great white ride. I will use that occasionally as well. And then, this I made. It's a 10-inch MCS Splash. Alex and I, we play a lot of, as stated, R&B, funk, and hip-hop. And what is so much fun about playing with him is I really think unconventionally with cymbals, and I use a lot of cymbals that on their own sound very trashy and dissonant, but I kind of call them my augmented and diminished chord type cymbals. But since Alex uses a fair amount of augmented and diminished and minor chords, even in a major song, you do a lot with the minor 4, right? You'll play the 4, then you'll play the minor 4, and then you'll resolve back to the 1. Yeah. So for that kind of stuff, these vented things that sound really dissonant in person really blend well with that vibe. And also, you can't really see it, but over here, I have a 16-inch Trash Crash TRX CRX Dark Series. And this sounds just so great. This is a great cymbal when I want an accent that's shorter than this, but doesn't stand out as much as this. The drum kit that I normally use with Alex, I don't have. This is a different drum kit that I keep in my studio. But a couple cool things about it is I use a 10-inch snare, and you really like that 10-inch snare, don't you? Yeah.
Oh yeah, super poppy, good for hip hop.
Absolutely,
R&B.
absolutely.
And you use a lot more cymbals, I feel like, than a lot of other drummers. But one thing I do notice, it just like it gives it so much more texture to the song.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, man. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we're very unconventional together, and that's why I love playing with him, because I also use cymbals in a very different way, which is great. I have cymbals that serve a lot of different purposes than just conventional crash and rise. This I use a lot when Alex solos, and I want to build the intensity, but I don't want to go to a half open hi-hat, because that would build the song up a little bit too much. One thing that's great about playing with a duo is you can really playing as a duo. You can really stretch. Sorry, that's my computer. You can really stretch the dynamic range, so you can go from really chill and mellow to a little bit more to a little bit more. So a lot of my cymbals help me do that. They help me transition from those ranges in a very smooth way. Do you have a favorite cymbal?
Whatever is that dark sounding one. I never thought I'd like dark sounding cymbals, but it's something, yeah.
I love that, and it's got projection too. It's dark, it's warm, but it cuts. I mean, it's awesome. All right, so
it's nice to have a lot more stuff than just like one crash, one ride, one hi-hat. You got so much more stuff on top of that. It's a lot more colors.
And there are gigs that I do with Alex that I usually do a 2 or 3 cymbal setup. But even when I do, usually I will omit a normal crash. I'll usually always have a crash ride, but I'll always have a stack. Whenever like I might just have a stack. I might just have a stack and a pair of hi-hats. I love doing that because it's really fun to challenge myself when I play with this very creative and gentleman to how can I make the music sound the best with the most I possibly can, but also how can I make the music and vibes and get the most creative stuff out of the least I can. So That one time, remember that setup where it was like a kick drum conga, like no hi-hat, no ride cymbal, kick drum conga snare, and a crash ride, and a vintage splash.
Yeah.
No tops. So yeah, a lot of times that's what I'll do. In fact, I enjoy using hand percussion. I use bongos and use congos, and a lot of times I'll have those in place of rat toms or a floor tom, because I think you can mostly get most of the vibe I need for this music, which is mostly backbeat bass with that, but just adding those percussion. I've talked a lot, so I asked you about some guitar players that influence you, but what about some musicians in general that influence you?
Marvin Gaye is probably my number one influence. I love just sitting back listening to some Marvin Gaye, D'Angelo, like I mentioned earlier. He's my number 2 guy right now. But other than just listening to those, I try and listen to as much different stuff as possible.
That is so great.
Listen like some jam stuff like Lettuce.
And Adam Deitch, man.
Yeah.
Dude, he is.
Some old stuff like the Beatles.
And we play some Beatles, so
yeah.
In fact, come see us live, and we play all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's awesome.
And I was gonna say one thing when you were talking about your set. One thing I really like about playing with you is your setup's always a little bit different whenever we play.
I love.
And that's kind of the same way I like to operate too. I like to, if I'm doing a lot of acoustic shows, I like to break out the electric or change up my pedals or just change up the vibe or anything like that, just to keep it interesting and not like you're doing the same thing.
Keep it fresh.
Over and over. Keep it fresh.
You want a new and exciting experience for whoever comes to our show, and that's what we provide. If you come to our show, it's like we like to say that I know everything you're gonna do, and I have no idea what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect balance of predictability and spontaneity. I want to talk about songwriting a little bit, because as I'm doing more songwriting, you are a great songwriter, and I'm really getting interested in that kind of stuff. So when you're writing a song, do you write the lyrics first and then the chords, or do you write the chords first, or does it vary?
I write most of the time I write the chords first. Yeah, and that kind of I write the song kind of off a feeling, and then like once I get that feeling down on guitar, then it's easier to kind of channel the lyrics for me at that. So yeah, usually it's the music first and then the lyrics.
Have you ever had a time when you were writing a song and the chords were jabbing and you got the lyrics, but then you were thinking about the melody of the lyrics, and you had a melody that you really, really wanted to do, but it didn't really match, I guess you would say, the rhythm of the lyrics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's tons of stuff I've done like that, and honestly, I can't even keep count of how many songs I've actually written and just like listened back to them and be like, those two parts didn't really go together. So I think one of the keys in that is just patience, really. You gotta let that song grow, and if it's not ready, hold it back and wait till it's ready. Don't just put it out there just because you have something that you can put out there. You should really be critical of your stuff, your own stuff, and just try and make it the best you can later on.
Absolutely.
A lot of times, like some songs took me 3 or 4 years to write, and that's okay.
Wow. That's why they're so good, because I'm serious. You really, I mean, it's some great stuff.
Well,
couple more songwriting questions. Oh, this is fun. So dynamics. You're a very dynamic player, and one of the things we love to do is, we were talking about playing as a duo. We can really explore a complete dynamic ceiling, but just for you, when you think about dynamics when you're writing your songs, do you have kind of a standardized method, kind of like, okay, this is the verse, it's going to be down, most of my verses are down, and most of my choruses are more up, or does it depend on the lyrics or even the chord progression?
I definitely bring the dynamics down. I feel like my tendency is to bring them down during like the verses, any vocal parts where I want people to concentrate on the lyrics instead of the music. Other than that, I kind of just feel out the dynamics. Sometimes I'll be playing real soft in the verse, and then I can just hear like a note. I can just like really pluck and just like bring out just like an accent kind of in there.
Yes, we accent lots of stuff.
Yeah, and all that is just listening to yourself and listening to the band. It's all communication really, and it's about learning how to self-mix yourself in every little note, every single second you're playing.
Absolutely, and I do that as well. So when we both do it, it's fantastic. And you and many other people have taught me about doing that. When you're playing in a band, it's very important, or playing with anybody in general. And we'll cover this more in Groove Essentials, but weekly grooves. But sorry, I just quoted my favorite drum book. Tony Iago, shout out. Okay. But it's very important to mix yourself, meaning the 4 toms at the beginning. I don't talk about this, but one of the things in the groove this week, there's 4 toms, and that 4 tom part you want to play really softly, because what Alex is doing, he's playing a bunch of very low rhythmic. He's playing a. Can you sing what you're playing on the guitar? We'll sing it together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, what's very important is when another musician's doing that, you don't want to be playing your 4 toms forte, and actually you don't really want to be playing your 4 toms as well as your snare, because you want your 4 toms are supporting, right? They're supporting what the other musician, in this case Alex, they're supporting what he's doing on the guitar. So that's very, very important. You want to keep those very much in the background. Again, it's very important to think of all music like a picture, background, foreground, and then you have details that are important to the picture, but they're very subtle, and then you have details that are not so subtle, but are very important to the picture. Well, Alex, I really enjoyed having you, man, and I hope to do many more of these. God bless, and have a great weekend. God bless y'all. Have a great weekend, and we'll see y'all next time.